Hello cousins, it's Kemi. Welcome back to my channel. Third time lucky. Hopefully today's video we have no problems. As you guys know, we've been up and down with like trying to figure out this camera setup. First video, my chin was literally cut off. Second video, my camera decided to go out of focus. I actually finally managed to fix it, so we're here. So third time, hopefully there's no problems in today's video. Anywho, for today's video, there's a new trend on TikTok that if you type in my type makeup, the best makeup that suits you will show up. And for me, what came up was latte / tasty makeup, which is basically an all matte eyes with a natural finish skin and a glossy lip. Tell me that isn't me. Like, if you know, you know that's like my signature go-to look. When I saw that, I was like, yes, TikTok, me and you, we get along, okay? We're like this now. So that's basically what we're gonna be doing in today's video. So without further ado, let me zoom you guys in and let's get into this my type makeup. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I really love you guys because it is hot. So we're gonna start by prepping the eyelid. I'm gonna go in first with this NYX Pro Fix stick. This is a color corrector in the shade 15 Cocoa. I'm just using this to cover up my discoloration around my eyes. This has a really good pigment to it as well, which is pretty nice. And I'm just going to set it in place using the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder. I've got the mini travel size one. This is in the shade tan, just to lightly set that in place. And this step is quite important because you want to make sure that you have a matte base to work with because we are doing a matte look. So you want to set your brow bone highlight as well. So now that we have a nice clean canvas, we're going to go in with our eyeshadow now. The eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using today is the Master Matte eyeshadow palette by Makeup by Mario. I feel like this palette is just perfect for this type of look. It's all matte shades, it's all full of browns, and I love the fact that it has a black in here as well. And that will really help us make out our lash line. If you do want a cheaper alternative, the Juvia's Place, the Coffee Shop eyeshadow palette is very suitable for this look as well. Or the Colourpop Not a Box of Chocolate eyeshadow palette as well. Again, very suitable for this look as well. It's full of brown shades, like very pretty shades. You basically just want to find an eyeshadow palette that has loads of brown shades in it, but it has to be brown shade that actually shows up brown on your eyelid. So starting off, we're going to grab this shade right here. These shadows don't really have names, so I'm just going to like point at it. I want to place this right in my crease. Now I'm going to go in with this brown shade right here because it has a little bit of warmth to it. I'm just going to place that right above the first shade that we just used, but I'm going to bring it all the way in. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I'm going to place that as my transition color and blend that into my brow bone. Literally just swirling and blending that in so there's no harsh lines. You just want to keep going back in and just, you know, add in and blend in wherever you feel like you need a bit more product or wherever the product is harsh. You just want to make sure it's blended. And then for our lid shade, we're going to go back in that transition color. You can use a more caramel undertone nude shade. And I'm just going in with more of this toasty burnt orange shade all over the eyelid. Actually, I'm going to mix both shades. I'm going to add the caramel shade on top of this. And then this part is optional. What I like to do is go in with the black shade and just like smoke out my lash line with this. Sometimes I use it to create a wing. Just depends on the day. And then with an angled brush, I'm going to grab the little cool tone brown shade that's in here. And I'm just going to place that right on top of the liner just to smudge it out a little bit more. Like so. Now I'm going to go in with my Benefit Royal Lash Mascara. You can use any mascara. It doesn't have to be this one. You see what I mean? Like the eye look is very simple, but yet you can see that there's still something there. And then we're going with a black eyeliner underneath. It's about to be tea, okay? Right, so moving on to skin, which is the main focus of this makeup look. We want to have that healthy, natural finish skin. So starting off, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Water Magic Cream to moisturize my face. Because we're going to be using a lot of powders, we want to make sure that our skin underneath is like nicely hydrated. And I really like this moisturizer. Whenever I use it, this makes my makeup look so good, like so airbrushed and like flawless. I'm just going to allow this to absorb into my skin for about 30 seconds before going in with my primer. And that's one of the key things in making sure that your makeup looks flawless. You want to allow time for your products to sink in before you go in with the next product. For primer, we are using a gripping primer. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Absolutely love this. As you can C. Or if you're looking for a cheap alternative, I've got here the Maybelline Serum Gripping Primer. I really like this as well as the NYX Face Glue. Very sticky and it gives that hydration to the skin as well. And obviously the e.l.f. Power Grip, like either this one or the green one, absolute love. If you do not have the milk one, any of these three will work perfectly as well. Honestly, just down to preference. And you guys see that? Very, very sticky. And the key to make sure that your makeup lasts all day is going in with a setting spray before your makeup, during your makeup, and then finally to lock it in place as well. I like to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray. This is long lasting and it's never failed me, so we're going to use her today. Okay, so now that the skin is prepped, we can now go in and apply our makeup. And starting off for me, I like to go in and color correct my under eye and around my mouth area, because as you can see, I have a little darkness around my mouth area. And I've got like little dark circles because you're gonna be sleeping. However, instead of using a color corrector, I personally like to use a concealer shade that is 1 to 2 shades deeper than my skin tone to cover up any imperfection. The one I'll be using today is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer, and this is in the shade 17.5 Deep. You guys can clearly see how dark my under eye is. Go in and tap this out with a brush. And also use it to clean our eyeshadow as well. Do you guys see the subtle difference this concealer has made to my under eye? And the fact that, you know, if I was to go out like this, you wouldn't even think that I have makeup underneath my eyes, because this matches my skin really well. It's subtle, but like, this is what we need. We don't want it to be exaggerated. We don't want to go with like a red or orange, you know, color corrector, because then you have to put on more makeup to cover up the red and the orange. So using a concealer shade that's like 1 shade or 2 shade deeper than your skin tone will do the trick for you. I'm just gonna go in and just cover up the rest of the areas that needs to be covered up. And if you feel like you use too much product, just go in with your beauty blender and just blend out the concealer even more. The beauty blender will help you absorb any extra products that you don't need. So when it comes to foundation, you want to make sure that you go in with a foundation that, one, suits you best in terms of shade match and your skin type. Now I have normal combination skin, so what that means for me is everywhere else is pretty much normal, but my T-zone does get a bit oily, but I know that I can use my powders to like help with that. If you have oily skin, to achieve the natural finish look that we're going for, you want to use a satin matte finish foundation. And if you have dry skin, you want to make sure that you're using a hydrating foundation. Ideally, when it comes to coverage, you want to use a medium coverage foundation. Reason being that you don't want to use a full coverage foundation, because that could look quite heavy on the skin, therefore looking cakey, and that's not what you want. You want a natural finish look, meaning your skin but a lot better type of vibe. You want your skin to still look like skin, but not like light beat. You still want to make it look like you've got makeup on. The medium coverage is perfect. The foundation I'll be using today is my Fenty Beauty Soft Lip Foundation. This is a natural luminous finish foundation, and I really like this foundation because it's long wearing and it gives me that natural finish, and the shade match of it, lovely. It's just like the perfect neutral undertone foundation for me. A trick that I like to do is I like to spread it out with my fingers before going with my brush. If you're very heavy handed when it comes to like the amount of foundation you need, you want to use a pump and a half, nothing more than that. And a way to make sure your foundation doesn't look too much is to blend from inwards to outwards. So you're really concentrating the products in the center of your face and then showing it out at the edges of your face. Now moving on to concealer, you're allowed to use a medium to full coverage concealer, because a light coverage concealer isn't going to do anything for you right now. So you want to go with a medium to full coverage concealer. This is going to give you that snatch look. But I am going to be using the Sephora Best Skin Ever full coverage concealer. I'm using the shade 55N. I'm just going to place this on my usual areas. And a trick that I've been doing lately to blend out my concealer is going in with a flat foundation brush and just tapping the product in. I don't know why, but this just works really well for me. It's gonna look a little bit harsh right now, but once we add our cream contour and our blush, it's gonna blend all nicely. Speaking of cream bronzer, I'm gonna be using the NARS Laguna bronzer in the shade 5, and then I'm gonna deepen up with my Charlotte Tilbury contour wand in the shade 10D. To be honest with you, contouring doesn't really work for me because I have a really round face, so I love to bronze. I'm not really into like cool tone you know, contour shades. I'm more of a warm babe anyway. So going in first with the Laguna bronzer. This shade, I want to say it's like one shade deeper than my skin tone, so you can hardly see it, but it's still there. It's what really helps, you know, merge everything together for me. I'm not sure if you guys can see the difference, but I definitely can. At first, it does look like there's nothing on, but now that I have it on, can you guys see what I mean? Like brown, very chocolate, you know? Now we're going in with the contour wand. Even though this says it's a contour wand, I don't use this as a contour. I use this more as a bronzer. The shade is actually quite warm. I'm gonna go back in with the same brush and use it to blend. Now for blush, for this look, you want to stay away from berry tones, you know, hot pink fuchsia type of blushes. And especially if you're dark skin as well, you want to go from that, you know, orangey coral type of blush. It helps the look more a bit toasty and more chocolate brown. So I'm going to be using my Juvia's Place liquid blush in the shade Lady Love. To be honest, these type of blushes is what suits me best anyway. Do you guys see what I mean? Like, it's not pink, it's like more coral, more orangey, peachy type of vibe. And it will just blend so pretty on the skin. Are we seeing this? Are we seeing this? Are we seeing this? Yeah, it just ties really nicely with the eyes. I just love this blush. It's so pigmented and it just complements my skin tone. Like I mentioned, for longevity, you want to go back in with a long lasting setting spray. So I'm going back in with my Charlotte Tilbury Party All Night Stay All Day setting spray. Now it's time to start setting our creams in place. And to do so, I'm going to start off by using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder in the shade 3 Tan. And like I said earlier, I've got the mini version and I am on my last legs. Now we're going to get with the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Setting Powder to really lock in those concealers. Using my Honey Luxe Collection Powder Puff. And you want to really start pressing the product in. And the key to get a natural finish look is not to bake. You just want to press the setting powder into your skin. No baking required for this look. I know we look a bit crazy, but don't worry, because we're going to go in with our Revelation Pro Season Perfecting Pressed Powder to set our entire face. I wear the shade Dark. You guys already know me, like, I love this powder because of the finish it just gives me. Like, I always seeing how airbrushed the skin is looking. Look at the shine on this side compared to this. This is why I love this powder. You can see that I'm wearing a lot of makeup, but you can see that it doesn't look heavy on the skin. Now for powder bronzer, my two favorite combination is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer, and I'll pair it up with my MAC Sunstruck Radiant Bronzer. This is in the shade Richer Rosy, and this is in the shade 4. So I'm going first with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, basically going over powder version of all the creams that we use. So this will be pairing up with my NARS Laguna bronzer, and exactly what I've done with my NARS Laguna bronzer, I'm just going to place this literally carelessly everywhere. And then with my MAC bronzer, I'm going to place this in more precise areas. I am a lot more intentional with this product and more precise. Now before I complete the rest of my face, we're going to go back onto the eyes. We're going back in with my Makeup of Mario Master Matte Eyeshadow Palette. I'm just going to grab some brown shade that we used earlier on and smudge that on our lower lash line. I'm just mixing these two shades together, by the way. And then of course, going in with a black eyeliner. This is the YSL waterproof eyeliner. Any eyeliner will do, it doesn't have to be YSL. But you do want to make sure that it is a true black eyeliner, not that greyish black. You want to make sure it's a true black. Gonna go in again with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray one last time to really lock in the makeup. This will take away any of that powdery finish to the makeup. It will give it like a subtle finish. Like I said earlier, I do have normal combination skin. To combat my oily T-zone, I'm going to go in now with a mattifying setting spray. I'm going to be using the One Size Beauty Until Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. This will just control any oils that I'm going to have throughout the day. If you have dry skin, I would recommend going in with a mattifying setting spray. Your Charlotte Tilbury will suffice. However, if you have normal to oily skin, pairing these two up, yeah, pairing these two up will have your makeup looking scrumptious. For powder blush, we're going to be using the Excess Revolution orange powder blush. You guys know how much I love this blush. I have been using her for years. So I'm just gonna grab this and just apply this on, and it just fits so well with this look because again, we want to look bronzy, you know, latte type of vibe, and an orange blush will get you there. Lastly for lips, we're going to go in with a nudie lip gloss. I'm going to be using the Lawless Beauty Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Gloss. I've got the shade here, Nudie, which is so pretty. And then we're going to go with the shade Posy Outlook to bring my lip liner to life. And then lastly, we can go in with a little mascara on the bottom lashes. I'm using my e.l.f. Lash and Roll mascara. And voila, we are done with this latte slash toasty makeup look. What do we think? This I feel like is definitely my signature look. This is the look that whenever I think of a look for me to do for any type of like occasion, this is the look that always comes to my mind. It is the makeup look that I feel secure and pretty as in. Like I just feel like it complements my skin tone, my eyes, my lips. I feel like it just makes all these features, you know, stand out and look pretty. I feel like it makes my features look pretty without doing too much. So my loves, we have come to the end of today's video. Let me know what you think about this look down below, and also let me know any other makeup style you want me to try out as well, because this is like my safe zone. Let me know any other makeup trends that you think will suit me, and I will definitely give it a try. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, I love you guys so much, and inshallah I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye cousin. Mwah.